What's happening, y'all?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, we're heading live. As you guys can hear, I kind of lost my voice. If you know me, you know pretty much why.
Because he was watching the Dallas Cowboys game. Sorry.
What a dramatic come from behind win. Like, I just that's why if people were skeptical on Dak Prescott, you cannot watch that game and say that he is not worth the contract he's asking.
Good. Get this out of the way before anyone joins.
They can watch it on rewind, but yeah, so I lost my voice on that. Also lost my voice. A little quick shout out to Anthony Davis with that clutch fucking 3-pointer to get us the win over the Denver Nuggets. So yeah, it was a very exciting, emotional roller coaster this weekend, being both a Dallas Cowboys and Los Angeles Lakers fan. So
yeah, imagine liking the two most hyped teams in their respective sports.
Hey, when you're in Canada, you can get away with liking a non-geographic.
No, when you're in Canada, you need to cheer for the Toronto Raptors. That's unexcusable.
Nah, yeah, I mean, when I started watching basketball and I saw Kobe Bryant first take the court.
Yeah, and you didn't have that feeling with Vince, because that's what I had.
It's fair. Yeah, I was also 2 years old when Vince was dominating. So
I remember I was at a Vince Carter game when I was a kid, or a Toronto Raptors game when I was a kid, and they're playing the Sixers, and it was literally like a back and forth. I'm pretty sure like Vince had like 55 points and AI had like 50 points. Like it was just a complete back and forth between those two guys.
Mod. That's exciting. Let's go quickly through the comments. So 25 says, what's good? What's good? 25. See, you're back at it. Seeing that live stream notification. Glad to see you in here. And he also says his fantasy team put up 176 points this weekend.
Oof, yikes. Nick Bosa tore his ACL.
Yeah, I saw that. By the way, talking about fantasy lineups this week, if you want to hear some unlucky fantasy lineup, the 9 of you that are listening right now, 5 or 6 of my players are gone for at least the next few weeks. I mean,
and if you want to hear some lucky ass fantasy lineup stuff, I literally have no one injured in any of the 7 leagues that I'm in. Like, it's actually remarkable. I have no, like, knock on wood, like, I have no idea. Like, I have 1 share of Saquon and 1 share of CMC, and they're also both my 2 least, like, the lowest buy-ins. So, like, in those leagues, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm chilling. And they're also both dynasty leagues too. So, like, I still have them going forward.
Yeah,
so I have no shares of Kittle in redraft or dynasty. Really, I have no shares of like Michael Thomas,
AJ Brown,
Adams, Chris Godwin. I have in 1 league, but I mean, he's going to be back this week. Yeah, like all the, like Raheem Mostert I have in 1 league as well, but he's like, that's the same league as the CMC one, so kind of screwed in that league.
For the record, you guys are going to see, I'm going to be putting the video, waiver wire video up for about noon tomorrow, give or take. Jerick McKinnon, I don't care how much fab you have on him or how much fab you have in your league right now. That's 100% bid, because Raheem Mostert is gone for the foreseeable future. And everything that you're hearing from Kyle Shanahan's mouth specifically has been bad news regarding Tevin Coleman. So, I mean, if Jerick McKinnon is still available on your waiver wire, he is worth all of your fab. All of your fab.
Oh, speaking of waiver wire targets, I don't know if you're in this camp too. I'd rather pick up Wayne Gallman for $1 than Dion Lewis for $30.
Easily. Dude, Dion Lewis means nothing to me. And
I'm honest. I have a feeling it's just not going to be very good from anyone in that backfield.
Yeah, I'm not touching anybody at all in that backfield, for the record, because
I'm interested in Mike Davis though, for the right price. If I can get him, him for $15 to $20, I'm interested. But anything past that, I don't.
Mike Davis.
Unless I have maybe if I had CMC, maybe I'd spend like $20-$25 because I'm like down a running back then. But
Mike Davis to me is kind of similar. He's like a more pass catching type version of like kind of what we saw Malcolm Brown last week. So I was saying about $20-$25 for Malcolm Brown. So wouldn't be shocked if you spent around there for Mike Davis as well. When you're looking at Mike Davis, for example, the time frame for CMC is 4 to 6 weeks. But it's a high ankle sprain. And we saw when you try to rush a running back early from a high ankle sprain, they simply just lack the explosiveness to actually be the same type of player that they were prior to the injury. So if the Panthers are smart, if Mike Davis is playing well over the next few weeks, take your time on Christian McCaffrey. Do not rush him back, because ultimately he's going to lose so much explosiveness. And going to lose the factor of what makes him Christian McCaffrey. So,
can you go to Brian's question real quick? I actually have like a pretty strong take on this.
Let's just quickly get through the other couple. So I'm up 22 points in fantasy. I cook for my tight end. Opponent has Jacobs and Waller left. What are my chances? Hopefully not good, because I do play Cook in the Scott Fish Bowl, and if he scores 11 or less, I win. If he doesn't or scores more, I lose, and which is pretty sickening because I put up 210 points this week and still might lose. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jared Cook is probably in for a decent game, but I mean, unless Jacobs gets Saquoned, like what happened? Because last week I was up like 25 points going into Monday Night Football, and Saquon and Ingram needed to combine for less than 25 points, and I'm pretty sure they combined for less than like 15.
Yeah.
Because they both just had that would probably have to happen. And then on top of that, you also need Cook to go bonkers and have like 3 touchdowns like Higbee did or something.
I hope not to, because I play Cook in a few leagues. For the record, I somehow lost to Jared from the Discord, Daddy Flex God, in that one redraft league we're in, because Terry McLaurin ended up deciding to have like 20 points in the final 5 minutes of that game.
Yep.
Which is just insane.
Oh, man. Speaking of that game, I actually went and watched that on condensed. Like, I watched a condensed game today because, I mean, I'm pretty sure I own Antonio Gibson in every redraft league I'm in. I'm in 4 redraft leagues, and I own him in every single one. Man, he's going to be my top 24 this week.
Yeah. No, easily for me as well.
Like, he had the opportunity share that, like, I don't know, Ronald Jones had week 1, and like, before that sounds like I'm jinxing him. Like, he doesn't have Leonard Fournette in his backfield, so he should be fine. He also doesn't have Bruce Arians as his coach.
For sure. We'll quickly get into it. So 25, dodge the injury bug 2. Yeah, you're lucky. Let me go through that one team and redraft for the record. So Saquon Barkley, Will Fuller, AJ Brown, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, all on one team. Yeah.
Oh, you want to know something hilarious? Sorry, just quickly onto the Bucs running back situation. LaShawn McCoy dropped a wide open touchdown, and Bruce Arians gave him a hug after the play, and he benched Jones after fumbling.
Yeah, it's just a double standard.
Did Jones screw his wife or something? Like, what? Why does he hate him?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
McCoy literally dropped a wide open touchdown that would have sealed the game at the time too. Like, it was way more important than like when Jones fumbled, we were up 21-0.
Was it even like was it a bad fumble? Like, I didn't actually watch that.
The exchange between him and Brady. Brady was like, I think it was a draw play, and Brady like got the snap and then like dropped it down, and Jones didn't like tuck his elbow or whatever, and he like bumped the ball out. It was kind of it was probably Jones's fault, to be honest. Yeah. And Arian said it was Jones's fault, but like it's actually probably worse like than what like McCoy dropped a touchdown that would have sealed the game. And at the time, the game was actually kind of in question.
Yeah, Aaron's got to take it easy.
Yeah.
Notorious. Yeah, love you too, bud. A couple few emojis.
Okay, yeah, this is the one I wanted to talk about. I am not buying Kareem Hunt right now.
No, I agree.
I'm selling Kareem Hunt, actually.
This is because people view him right now. Believe it or not, there's people that are valuing him as like a top 14, top 15 type running back in half and full PPR formats. If you can get that type of value for him, do it right now. Because the way I look at it is Nick Chubb, especially in the first game, because that's where Kareem Hunt got a lot of his value. Yes, he had a couple touchdowns last game, but particularly people are looking at the snap share between him and Chubb week 1. Mm-hmm. Nick Chubb, when the Browns are in a favorable game script, will be getting 20 to 25 touches in a game. And if that's the case, yes, I don't mind Hunt still as a low-end RB2, but his value right now, as if he's in a high-end RB2, low-end RB1, and if you can get that type of value, sell him right now.
Yeah. I you know who I would rather trade? I would rather trade Jonnu Smith right now for DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I that might sound like because he's kind of in like a little messy situation, but man, he was like he's the receiving down back. He has a clear role in that offense. And I think he's only going to get more rushing attempts as the season goes on. But even like someone in that range, like even if you can get like David Montgomery, like if you
I was just about to mention David Montgomery.
Yeah,
dude,
like
it's crazy.
James Robinson or something, like someone in that range is I'd much rather have over Kareem Hunt, because I think Kareem Hunt's maybe his value is a bit more than what it is like throughout the season. But I think this is his peak value right now.
Yeah, agreed. Talking about David Montgomery, though, I just have to say one thing. He looks like a completely different player from last year compared to this year. Oddly enough, coming off a groin injury, he's looked like, yes, okay, it's been 2 favorable matchup against the Lions and the Giants, but he's looked good, man. And we saw some passing game usage from him this week against the Giants as well. Man, David Montgomery at this point, in my opinion, has to be regarded as like a top 16, 17 type running back.
I don't know if I'd go that high, but I'd probably say top 20.
Yeah, like it's right. He wouldn't be in the top 14 range, but he'd be in like that 15, 17.
Like I kind of view him the same way I view David Johnson.
Oh no, I'd much rather Montgomery over Johnson.
Really? I kind of see them around the same. They're both kind of like okay. But and they're going to be like RB 18 to 24 based on who they're playing kind of thing. Like that's just kind of how I view them. The
thing with Montgomery that I can definitely see is that like are we like for example, David Johnson, for example, had a good week one. I will give him that. But I don't have no confidence that he can really keep that up for the rest of the season. Whereas with a guy like David Montgomery,
I don't know, man. He played the Ravens this past week. The Ravens are fucking clamps against the runs. I don't really want to take too much away from what David Johnson did, even though I wasn't a David Johnson fan coming into the season. I don't think that was a good litmus test because he played a really bad run defense in week 1 against the Chiefs, and then a really good run defense in week 2 against the Ravens. By the way, I saw you and Notorious talking on Twitter. I put $50 down. Ravens -3 in that game.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
I put $50 down Ravens -3, and I also took the over because it's like 53. Yeah. I'm like, they're both they're going over that.
That's gonna be a smash.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into professional fitness. So he says, would it be a shot to trade Watson for Kyler? Honestly, at this point,
I would do it.
Yes.
I don't think the Kyler owner is going to do that though.
Honestly, man, Kyler looks fantastic.
Fantastic. He looks incredible.
Like, he is this might sound crazy because obviously Lamar's rushing ceiling is like literally 1,300 plus yards. This might sound bold. I would not be shocked if Kyler Murray finished with more rushing yards this year than Lamar Jackson.
I don't know. I don't think that would happen just because the designed runs that Lamar sees far more than what Kyler Murray sees, but I could definitely see him finishing second in the. Actually, I don't know because Cam Newton's getting like the fucking rushing workload that Lamar is getting.
Man, like it's crazy. Like all the
quarterback position is very deep right now. I don't know about you, but there seems like there's a lot of high ceiling guys right now. Like,
oh my god,
guys that I was wrong about.
Russell Wilson.
Cam Newton, I was wrong about, and he looks like he's going to be like a very high ceiling guy week over week. Aaron Rodgers, same thing. I was kind of wrong about Aaron Rodgers, and he looks like he's going to be a very high ceiling guy week over week. Fucking Josh Allen made the leap, man.
Yes.
And I dug into the snaps even more again. Stephon Diggs played another 35% of his routes from the slot, and he had a 52% target share from the slot. Number one in the NFL.
Stephon Diggs is going to be a top 10 receiver this year, for the record.
Yeah.
If you can get him for cheap now.
If you want to buy high on Diggs right now because he had a good game, do it. I don't care. Yeah. I'm willing to give up someone that might have been a perceived like top 15 option for Stephon Diggs because I think Diggs is going to be a top 8 receiver.
Dude, like, honest to God, I love Allen Robinson, but I would not be like hesitant to, because of the quarterback situation, to give Robinson up for Diggs at this point, which is crazy because I love A-Rob. But man, Diggs he fits that offense to a T. And Josh Allen clearly trusts him. By the way, for the record, John Brown looks very good too. Very good. And if Josh Allen is playing at the level that he is right now, both those guys can be supported. Especially with Dawson Knox in the
what it's worth too, Josh Allen has been accurate downfield.
Yeah. He looks fantastic. Like him and Cam Newton, literally like the Spider-Man meme where they're like pointing at each other. That's literally them right now, how they're playing.
To be fair, Josh Allen has played the Jets and the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have a good secondary. And I mean, I know they lost Byron Jones in that game, but like it's still like I would say it's like a respectable defense. Like Brian Flores was playing with undrafted free agents last year and made them a respectable defense.
Agreed there. So Professor also says drop Akers for McKinnon.
Yes.
100%. I wouldn't drop Akers, but if you can drop someone else for McKinnon, I would 100% do that.
I'm willing to drop Akers if you have to. If he's your only guy to drop, I'm willing to do it because I think do we have a timeline on his rib injury or whatever that he has right now?
I don't at this point, but yeah, that's fair. Do you have any other options on your bench you can drop? Because I still kind of want to stash Akers because I do think he's going to be really good by the middle of the season. Once he comes back, he got a lot of return. He got a lot of opportunity at the beginning of that game, and then got hurt. Like he got the first 5 touches of the game out of the running back position for the Rams, and he looked good with them. I mean, and that's against an Eagles run D that kind of stifled them. By the way, stifled them for the most part. But Darrell Henderson looked very good as well. So just wanted to mention that because apparently Malcolm Brown's also dealing with a finger injury. But just for the record, if you have to drop Akers, I would prefer McKinnon to him. But if you have another bench option that you could potentially drop for McKinnon, blow your fab on McKinnon because McKinnon, I wouldn't be against the Jets next week. He may be in my top 16, 17. Like he
Yeah, no,
in that
honestly, that
matchup,
doesn't shock me because he
or
has a
Giants.
3-down skill set, and their receiving core is decimated. And
Yeah.
I don't remember. Was it
Sorry, they play the Giants. My bad.
okay? Well, either way, but like
Yeah.
if Nick Mullins is playing, I don't know if he's playing or not. But I remember the year that Nick Mullins played. Who was the running back there? Didn't they catch a shit ton of balls?
Oh my god, I'm trying to think. Who would that have been? That was right before Tevin Coleman.
That wasn't Carl. Was it just like Breida and like?
It was Carlos Hyde and Matt Breida.
Yeah, it was just no.
Yeah.
It wasn't Carlos. Carlos Hyde wasn't.
Carlos
there.
Hyde was 2017. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's 2018 that Nick Mullins played.
2018, because in 2019 he signed with the Texans in the offseason, or not? Yeah, the Texans in the offseason.
Yeah,
it was Breida and Hyde. That was the mixture.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was 2018. Either way, I think
Hyde,
Nick Mullins is good
I got
for
it now.
Jerick McKinnon. Either way,
Hyde was 2017. It was Breida and running back that played for the Cowboys, Alfred Morris.
Right. And then Mostert had a couple good games that year too, where he like came in and
Jeff Wilson.
And no one knew who Mostert was at the time though.
For sure. Right, get the DS. Sup, fellas? Only one shirt. Yeah, you avoided the Thanos snap. Good for you, DS, for the record.
Oh, did you hear McCaffrey's like, I'm going to beat the timeline? Like, dude.
Please don't.
Please don't. Just stay out 4 weeks, man.
Yes, for sure. Alex says, Johnny Smith, an amazing breakout candidate pick. Thanks for the you clearly watched that sleeper video. Appreciate that, and Alex.
I literally own Johnny Smith in 6 out of 7 leagues. I'm in 6.
Yeah, I have him in about 3 or 4 as well.
I got him in like dynasty leagues, like startups in like the 12th, 13th round of like the tight end, like 20. Like, what are we doing? There's a 24-year-old tight end walking into huge opportunity. How did no one see this?
Everybody like should have saw it, but
everyone should have been on him the way they were on Hurst and Andrews 2 years ago, and like it was so obvious.
I had Hurst like 2 spots ahead of him, but like they're both in the same range. Now, if you're talking about straight up right now, Johnny Smith over Hurst. Because
AJ Brown being out definitely helps Johnny Smith right now.
For sure. Jacobs versus Camaro tonight. Get the popcorn ready. Yes, sir, Jordan. Glad to see you back in the line.
Jacobs might have a rough go. If Jacobs has a good game tonight,
he's elite.
The kid's the real deal because this is a tough run defense.
Can I survive without CMC with Fournette, McKinnon, Gaskin?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I think, man, honestly, going forward, I think you can start Fournette and McKinnon pretty much every week.
Agreed. Can you explain why Hines was so non-existent? Sell Hines. I was wrong.
If you want to sell Hines, someone still thinks Hines is like the Austin Eckler, like get rid of him.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
If you can get McKinnon for Hines, do it in a heartbeat.
I'll own up to that right now.
I take Gaskin for him too.
Yeah, I'll own up to that right now. I was high on Hines after that week 1 specifically because I saw the snap share that he had, but he was non-existent when Taylor became the workhorse. Non-existent. Taylor got 28 opportunities in that game. Hines had 1 touch. Sell Hines.
I could tell I don't know why. I think it was just a gut feeling. I was like, this is a blip on the radar. Like this is a week 1 thing. It was like Mike Davis in Chicago week 1 last year. Like I just, for whatever reason, I thought that's what Nyheim Hines was going to be. They're like, oh yeah, we want to get Nyheim Hines involved, but like that's not going to last very long because Nyheim Hines really isn't that good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a live forfeit on the camera for that little Singletary versus. We'll figure that out. Yeah, either tonight or Thursday night. I'm definitely gonna be doing something funny on the camera to try to make up for that horrendous buying into Hines or whatever that was.
Yeah,
is that I'm gonna sell high or hold?
Hold him.
With how that offense,
good, man. Hold him.
Yeah, with how that offense is running, with how many targets he's getting peppered with, like. Edelman.
N'Keal Harry's the number 1 pickup at receiver on the week, in my opinion. If he's on your waiver wire, go get N'Keal Harry because while I was looking into the slot percentages, N'Keal Harry was 3 in the league. Like as far as like his percentage, his target share while he was playing from the slot. So they were actually moving him there, and when he was there, they were targeting him heavily. Which I mean, N'Keal Harry, I wasn't a fan of coming out of school. I thought he was kind of little Josh Doxson-y, but like he looks good, man.
Somebody tweeted out, I was laughing.
He was my captain in my showdown lineup last night. I was like, oh my God, am I going to like snap this? But I didn't have Russell Wilson in my lineup. So that's why I lost.
So it was funny because somebody tweeted out, they were like, what is it? N'Keal Harry is like Larry Fitzgerald without the veteran savvy or whatever. Someone tweeted that. I was dying.
Oh, geez. You know what I just realized? I get to watch 60 minutes of Henry Ruggs tonight.
He's out, no?
No, he's playing.
Oh, he's actually playing? Okay, because I know he was questionable.
Well, before he went down in week 1, man, like he looked like he was going to be the
so
number
good.
1 receiver. Like rookie receiver too. Speaking of rookie receivers,
CeeDee
my
Lamb.
God, my sleepers video, aside from Chris Herndon right now, is looking like a W. Let's check the scoreboard. Gibson looking like a W so far. Jerick McKinnon looking like a W so far. Chris Herndon, not so much, but I mean, he's not like droppable. I don't think.
We've literally been on the same guys too, so I'm just glad that we have so much ownership. I think I have Jerick McKinnon.
And then
in every single league.
and Judy were 2 of my other sleepers, who I think are both going to be like, especially with Judy having Sutton go out for the year, is definitely. Sorry to say this, Cortland Sutton, but you're coming back as the number 2 receiver next year.
Yeah, agreed. Talking about that, for the record, I mean, Ruggs versus Judy, that's going to be a very, very good fight for the number 2 rookie receiver in this draft class.
Shut up, dude. CeeDee Lamb's not the number 1 receiver.
Dude, CeeDee Lamb is the number 1 receiver on Dallas.
No,
he is the number 1 receiver on Dallas.
Of the big 3, CeeDee Lamb is clearly 3rd in my opinion. Like as far as like rookie fantasy scoring, I would say CeeDee Lamb is last of Ruggs, Judy, and Lamb because they were the big 3 coming out. Everyone knew they were the top 3.
I'll make a bet live right now that at minimum
you got to outscore both. You got to stand for your guy. If one of them outscore him, then
we'll do it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take my Bama guys.
All right, and I'll take CeeDee Lamb to outscore him.
Over there.
Dude, he's gotten 16 targets in the first 2 games of the season and is being used in the slot like so much. I don't know the actual slot percentage. You're gonna have to check that on PFF. But man, like the way they're actually using CeeDee Lamb, the trust that Dak Prescott has in him, man.
Receiver, dude. He plays like 90% of his routes from the slot.
He's such a good fit there, especially when you have a guy like Michael Gallup on the outside as well.
Did you see that? Come on, man. Took that deep shot from Brady right off his beak.
Did you see that fucking catch by Gallup, man?
I did.
Dude, the stats may not be there for fantasy, which kind of like sucks.
We should probably rip through some question, eh?
Oh yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. But man, Michael Gallup is such a good real life receiver. It's unreal. 25 first 2 weeks.
Did we talk about Brandon Cooks there?
Yeah, punching the air over Cooks. Yeah. Yikes.
I liked Brandon Cooks at the beginning, or I like the Texans 2 receivers. I feel like I actually uttered the words like one of them is probably going to get hurt and the other one's going to do well because of it.
It happened like reverse weeks. Cooks last week and then Fuller this week.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Cooks is able to stay healthy, he might put up a normal Cooks stat line, which is like 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, agreed. 25 also says first 2 weeks I started Big Ben. Switch it up this week and start.
No, keep Big Ben.
Keep rocking Big Ben, especially against Houston.
What I mean with quarterbacks, like why would you ever take a quarterback early? Like I understand guys like Kyler Murray and
Russell Wilson
and Lamar Jackson and like these guys are rolling, but man, Big Ben going off right now. Cam Newton like killing it right now. Even like
Joe Burrow,
Justin Herbert might be like a streamable quarterback every week. If
Joe Burrow.
Like Joe Burrow, like playing well. Gardner Minshew's playing out of his mind too.
I'm so happy. That is so on brand for us, by the way.
I know. I have Gardner Minshew in a lot of places. I dropped Tom Brady in my home league today.
Good shit. Yeah, Gardner.
I'm like, the way I look at it, I wouldn't suggest you all drop Tom Brady. I have a feeling that the Bucs defense and the run game is going to have to carry the passing game for the first. Yeah,
Brady's been terrible.
Because we play a cake schedule coming up. We have the Broncos, who have Jeff Driscoll as their quarterback. Lock in Bucs -6, by the way, if you want to make a good bet. We're going to kill them with Jeff Driscoll as their quarterback.
Agreed that.
And then we have the Chargers, who have a rookie quarterback, presumably. If they have Tyrod, it's probably even easier.
I'm telling you guys right now, for the record,
the Bears after that.
On the waiver wire video, the Bucs defense is going to be the number 1 defense for streaming this week. Just for the record. But
just to be honest, though, like the Bucs defense should be like highly owned because we're aggressive as hell. Like we blitz all the time and we play so much man coverage that we might get burned a couple times. Plus our offense is good, so it'll score a lot and we get a lot of sacks and stuff because we blitz all the time. So I mean, that's why the Chiefs defense is good for fantasy, because the Chiefs offense scores all the time and the pass rushers can just pin their ears back and get sacks, and Tyrann Mathieu can get picks and stuff like that.
For sure. We'll get on to Robert's question. What can I trade A-Rob for at this point? Hold A-Rob, please. He had a bad first 2 weeks, but still got a ton of targets. This week, he's going up against the Falcons. If you're looking to sell A-Rob, wait until after the Falcons game, because he is legitimately going to score 25-plus points in this game. I'm telling you that right now.
If he does not, then
you got to worry.
And
I'm more worried about Trubisky because he's gotten 20 targets over the last 2 weeks. Trubisky just fucking Oh
I
man,
wasn't. I feel like I was one of the few people that was not all in on Allen Robinson.
I love like I think
know
I had
a
him
lot
at
of
10.
people were like,
11.
"Man, he's my wide receiver 6." Like he's
Okay, I wasn't that high.
whatever. Like he really only had one good year. Like that was my thing with Allen Robinson. He was kind of Kenyon Drake. I was like,
2. The year on the Jags where he had 1,400 yards.
okay, but like he only had one good year on the Bears. Like the first
fair.
year coming off the ACL tear, he wasn't good.
That's fair. So we'll get into Jeff's question. Jeffrey Wang, attaboy. Should I start Connor or Montgomery as my RB2? So you got Montgomery against the Falcons. Who does Pittsburgh play this week? Oh, you mentioned the Denver. Oh no, they played.
Oh
Denver
no. This is Houston.
Connor against Houston or Montgomery against the Falcons.
I don't think you can sit Connor as long as he's
I was
playing.
about to mention that. Like it's a toss up for me, but I would go Connor because that snap share last week, Snell was basically useless. Connor came back and dominated. I think he had 79% snap share last week. Like if Connor is healthy from what it looks like, the Steelers are going to use him as such. Coming off a fantastic game against the Giants, they basically said to Benny Snell, yeah, see you later, smell you later, get out. That's basically what they said to him. But
pretty much, yeah.
Breida. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the 49ers thing earlier. Thoughts on Kenyon Drake's struggles? He'll pick it up. That offense is too good.
I'm pretty sure he has a really easy schedule coming up. Let me just check this one sec.
And not to mention, like, if Kyler's going to be putting up 85, 90 plus rushing yards per game, yes, I would be worried. But I think that's going to tone back down a tad to like maybe the 60, 70 range. And even if that's the case, I mean, we should see Kenyon Drake still be involved more so in the passing game as well. Like, I think this, and he hasn't even been bad. What's he had? Like 15 and 11 points the past 2 weeks with Kyler Murray basically having 100 yards in every game.
Yeah, pretty much.
For rushing. Like, I'm not too worried. Yeah. And
it was a bad matchup. Like, Washington's front's like legit.
For sure. Going into the next one. I'm so mad I missed the start of this. How hard did Danny get? Yeah, literally hard. You'll watch the beginning of the rewind of this.
I'm just glad the Falcons are in my division. The Falcons are the new Bucks, just FYI.
Yeah.
They are. This is what we do. It's a race to 40. If you don't score 40 points, you're going to lose.
Yeah, they scored 39 and lost.
Exactly, right? Like when we had Jameis Winston and Dirk Cutter, it was like our defense couldn't stop a nosebleed with a U-Haul full of gauze. So we get absolutely torched on defense. We'd be on offense so much. We'd have 3 receivers go over 100 yards and we'd still lose. Yeah,
for sure. Professor says Akers the only option besides Stafford, not dropping Gallup. Yeah, no, okay. Go for McKinnon over.
I would drop Stafford.
Oh, it's a 1 QB league. Yeah, get rid of Stafford.
Yeah, if it's a 1 QB league, and you don't need another starter with Watson.
Yeah, agreed. So we're now at KG. Am I crazy if I start Jonnu and Fant? You absolutely are not. Because with Sutton hurt, with like Drew Lock out, we saw still Driscoll was peppering Fant with targets. Both of those are must starts, in my opinion, at this point. Like, I would not be shocked if each and every week they're nearing around the 80 yards and a touchdown type range for both those tight ends. But man, I'm so happy to see those guys absolutely snap.
I got my red zone up late at 1 o'clock this week or whatever. And I turn on red zone and I go on, I look at my phone and Jonnu has 15.9 points already. I'm like, what the fuck did Jonnu Smith do? And I look and he's got like an 85-yard reception or 75-yard reception and then a touchdown. I was like, oh my God, he caught a bomb. And I found out it was 2 different plays.
Yeah, that was crazy. Open to drop in South. Yeah. Poppy says, should we expect more targets for Ingram? He had 6 for 65 yesterday against the Bears. I mean, we could expect
good tight end volume. Yeah. Tight ends aren't supposed to get more than 6, 7, 8 targets unless you're Ertz or Kittle or Andrews.
Like, if people are pessimistic on Evan Ingram, this is probably one of the only times where you can actually buy him low because he's still going to be the clear number 1 in my opinion.
They ain't going to be able to run the ball anymore, too.
That passing offense, in my opinion, especially with Shepard hurt as well, is going to be funneled mostly between Slayton and Ingram with Tate working in as well. So
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Shepard is hurt. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Manu says, LOL, remember when I asked in the last stream who you predicted the next major injury would be?
Oh my God, you jinxed it, man. I totally forgot about that.
Dude.
Remember he was like, oh, who's the next major injury? The answer was everyone.
Damn. That's crazy.
The next major injury. We said who did we say? Todd Gurley or AJ Green or something like that?
Yeah.
Actually, did someone say Will Fuller?
Someone said that.
I think I said Will Fuller.
I think someone said Saquon Barkley in the comments as
Oh
well.
my god.
Oh man.
Hey, Mono, you're not allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah,
I
that's
avoided
that's
the
not.
injury bug, and
Yeah,
I feel like I have some bad karma coming.
we're blaming the injuries this week on you.
Yeah.
Selling Hines, sure, but dropping Hines is stupid. The Colts didn't need him versus the Vikings. If you have better
I
options
wouldn't
on the
drop him
wire,
just yet, but I would drop him after this week if he
like,
has a bad game.
like if he's your worst bench option, I would drop him for McKinnon easily.
Oh yeah, me too.
Easily.
I would drop him. I would drop him
Josh
for
Kelly.
McKinnon. I'd drop him for Gaskin. I'd drop him for N'Keal Harry.
Dude, I love Josh Kelly for the record.
Like, I don't think is Josh Kelly still unowned in that many leagues?
I'll check the ownership, but he was last week. Man, 25 touches this week. 25. Like he's in the Melvin Gordon role. But we'll get on. Jerry Jeudy's route tree is better than most wide receivers in the league. He's making guys look ridiculous. Absolutely agree. Jerry Jeudy is fantastic. Jeudy, he's my wide receiver too. I think he was your 2 as well, except we had my
I
one
had
was your
1
3.
and Jeudy 2, and you had Lamb 1 and Jeudy 2.
Yeah, and Ruggs 3 for me, Lamb 3 for you. So makes sense. See,
I compared Jeudy to Devontae Adams. He just reminds me so much of him.
I had Lamb to DeAndre Hopkins, so
I had Lamb to Devontae Parker.
That's fair. CD will be the best of those 3, but Justin Jefferson will outperform all of them. Hot take.
That is a hot take.
Jared.
Did anyone hear the news about Kirk Cousins? This is why Stephon Diggs left. There was like a Jay Gruden quote that like surfaced about from back in his Washington days, where like he'd go to the sideline or something and be like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Like mentally, he just wouldn't do something. He'd be like, "Oh, the defense isn't giving me this look, so I'm not running this play." It's like, Kirk, run it, take a risk, basically. Yeah. And maybe that's why Stephon Diggs didn't say a single word after he was out of there to Buffalo. We're like, "Oh man, good luck to Stephon Diggs." And you go from Kirk Cousins, one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, to fucking Josh Allen, one of the worst deep ball throwers in the league.
Yeah, facts.
It's like Josh Allen's deep ball percentage is pretty hot right now because he has Stephon Diggs.
Literally. Talking about that, what was I going to say? Oh, talking about Kirk Cousins. This could be a little scenario. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this.
Trade him? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. He just got a new contract.
I know that, but looking at this type of scenario. So let's say we're about week 8. And that's when the trade deadline's around week 8, right? Yeah. And say the Vikings are, I don't know, 3-5 or 4-4 or something like that.
Fully guaranteed.
I know, but
fully guaranteed contract.
Do you like?
I don't think they can do anything with it. I think if they were to do it, they'd have to blow up the whole thing.
That's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is if you trade them to a different team, like, are you stuck with the full cap, or can they absorb the cap if they take some compensation?
You probably have to Osweiler it, but
that's what I was thinking. If you Osweiler it, what about a hypothetical scenario? That's what I'm saying.
A contract like that, it would cost you 1.
Dude, what about a hypothetical where if you're a team like the Jets and you're 1-7 at that point, or 0-8, and you're looking like you're going to get Trevor Lawrence, you have cap space to be able to absorb dead money for the next 2 years?
You know what I would do if I were
Sam Darnold for Kirk Cousins?
You know what I would do? I'd do it if I was the Colts and let him be my starter.
That's fair. Dude, yeah, like what
Cousins better than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, that's fair. What about like from the Jets standpoint though? You eat the cap, you trade Darnold for Kirk, a 1 and a 2. And then you draft T-Law.
That's a wild scenario. I don't know if Joe Douglas.
I know. I was just thinking about a random.
I think if that were to happen, it makes sense for the Colts. 1, because they always have so much cap space. 2, because they don't have a quarterback right now. Really, like Phillip Rivers is not the answer long term, or even probably this year. I have a feeling he's going to get benched before this year's over. And me and you, neither of us were fans of Jacob Eason coming out, so like we're not like believing that's like. I mean, he could be okay. I wasn't really the biggest fan of Justin Herbert either, and he looked really fucking good in that game. So.
The main thing I saw with Herbert in that Chiefs game versus what I saw on tape in college,
he never had a game like that in college, man. Anytime he played a good defense in college, he wilted.
Dude, his mental processor was actually like on display against the Chiefs.
That one, he had a couple bad plays, but like
for the most part, he had a couple rookie plays that's gonna happen. But man, he looked good.
Yeah, and that's a good pass defense, and he turned it on at the end of his college career in the game, the Pac-12 championship against Utah that he played, and the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin. Like he played 2 like big games against big opponents, and he played good in both games, which had never happened to that point in his college career, except for that Stanford game like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's fair. So again to Greg, Raiders. Yep, big game tonight. Crocomon, I'll go CD Lamb.
Win. Oh, where is it? Just win, baby. That's behind me right there.
Let's get it, Crocomon. Let's go CD Lamb. Matty Ice, yep. Godwin about it.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. 8 drops the Bucs offense had. We need Godwin back so bad. He's the only guy on our team. Like Mike Evans has always had drop problems. He's kind of like a little Amari Cooper-y from that perspective.
Speaking of Amari Cooper and
the catch that he made.
Dude, I thought like knowing Amari Cooper, he just drops catches.
Yeah.
But man, what a catch on that 58-yarder. But anyways,
we need Godwin, man. Like fuck, oh my God. Like Scotty Miller dropped a wide open touchdown. That was so Cyril Grayson or whatever the hell his name is took a shot right off his beak.
Yeah, for real. Professor dropped out for McKinnon like that. Hold on, Mixon. I would honestly see what type of package you can get for him at this point, because to me he just screams a steady RB2 without like the real RB1 upside people really wanted.
You're not gonna get you're not gonna get that. Like I would not trade him for Antonio Gibson. I love Antonio Gibson, but I'd not trade him for someone like that.
If someone's low on Eckler, I would do that.
I don't think you're gonna be able to get Eckler for Mixon.
Fair. I mean, I think
if you're trying to sell Mixon, you're looking at a guy like David Montgomery or like.
Yeah, okay. At that point, I'd hold Mixon.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, fair. Is it lagging?
I'd probably just wait for Mixon to have a blow-up game and then try and get someone like Eckler or like someone in that range.
Agreed. JK says, is it lagging or is it just me? It's probably just you because we seem fine. Are you seeing fine, Bush?
I mean, it could be lagging on their side. It's not lagging. You're not lagging and I'm not lagging. I'm not exactly sure.
Comment below if it's lagging, boys. Who's the number 1 RB pickup? I had Saquon McKinnon. It's McKinnon. It's McKinnon. It's not even close.
Yeah. Dion, like, there's this common misconception that when one bell cow goes down, it's just an automatic bell cow situation. Like, I can guarantee you that the Giants will not just give all the work to Dion Lewis.
Agreed.
Like, Wayne Gallman will be involved. And same goes for the Panthers. Like, Mike Davis is probably the starter, I would imagine. But I mean, like, who else is like they're going to get another guy involved? Like, they're not just going to give Christian McCaffrey's role to Mike Davis.
Yeah, for sure. Lost Barkley for the year. Trade Kelsey for Kamara. Absolutely. If you're getting Kamara, I love Kelsey, man, but Kamara is literally a top 4 running back at the minimum.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we didn't miss your question, by the way. When you asked us, am I crazy if I start Jonnu and Fant? If that's the question you're referring to, we said, no, you're not crazy because they're both like top 10 tight end options as long as like, especially going forward with their number 1 receivers on their teams being out, at least for now for Jonnu. But yeah, you're not crazy for starting both those guys.
Agreed. He said thanks for answering afterwards, so we're good. Should I re-pick up Henderson? Last week I picked up Chenault and dropped. I would still keep Chenault personally, but
over Darrell Henderson.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Henderson? Because I think Brown's gonna be back next week.
They're
kind of close.
Yeah, I would just hold unless you like are really weak at running back and really strong at receiver. I would say then pick up Henderson, but I think it's kind of just like a lateral move. I actually really like Laviska Shenault going forward. I think he's going to have a role.
Agreed. And for the record, if you can, people are panicking about quote unquote DJ Chark not getting a bunch of targets over the first 2 weeks. Go buy him right now. Those targets are going to go up as the Jaguars keep throwing more. Week 1, Gardner Minshew had 20 total attempts. Week 2, he had a little bit more, but realistically, I mean, DJ Chark, if you're really going to complain about 4 for 84, then you shouldn't be playing fantasy football because
that's a solid stat line. I know he only had 4 targets, but
man, he's going to pick it up.
It's gonna pick up.
Like Keelan Cole's not going to be a wide receiver 1 off season. Yeah. So I had to really address that. 25 says couldn't stop a nosebleed with U-Haul full of.
That's the Bucs defense, and now it is the Falcons defense.
Yep.
DFS tip number 1: you literally play at players that are playing the Falcons because they can't stop anyone.
Yeah, for sure. Bush, thanks for Scotty Miller over Paris Hilton. I love how you put those together. 1 by 1. Jeez. All those guys kind of.
To be fair, Scotty Miller had a wide open touchdown. He dropped it. So
yeah, that's fair. You guys have anyone going tonight on Monday Night Football? How do your fantasy? Yeah, so I want to mention my
all mine
fantasy
are either
weekend.
done. Like all my matchups, oh my god, Sexy Pats just destroyed me in Scott's Tots. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
His
My
team
team
went
fucking
off.
dude. Our two teams are literally like going to cross 200 this week because I have Kamara tonight as well. By the way, you guys don't even want to see my dynasty team in that league. I literally have like 3 of the top 4 running backs. Kyler, like I'm not even going to get into it right now, but it's literally disgusting. But
Yeah, all my matchups are. In my 4 redraft leagues, I went 3-1, and all of them are kind of like settled right now. And then in my dynasty leagues, I think I went 1-3, and the 2 that I lost in, I had McCaffrey and Barkley in, so that's not ideal.
Yeah, in my 2 redraft leagues,
one of them too, actually.
In my 2 main redraft leagues, I went 0-2, but in the one, it's half PPR, lost to the guy who scored the most points in this week, and I had Devontae Adams and Christian McCaffrey both get hurt for me in that game, and he just so happened to have Aaron Jones and Cam Newton on his team, so that was fun.
Yeah. I had Aaron Jones and Jonnu Smith and Gardner Minshew on my team. I put up 185 points in my home league. That was fun.
Yeah, I put up 130 and still lost. I had like the third or fourth most points on the week and I lost. So, and then in the other league, in my other home league, well, I lost by 10 points with Saquon Barkley, Will Fuller, and Chris Herndon combining for 4 points.
Yeah. So we should probably the game started.
Yeah,
let's probably rip through these.
Yeah, let's get through these last bit quickly. Do Zach Moss and Swift still have upside? Swift
especially hold those guys.
Swift especially
I would be low on personally.
Yeah, easily. Zach Moss, I still hold it under your bench because it is a kind of a timeshare right there. Do you trust Henderson as an RB? No, not as
I
an
don't
RB2.
trust him as an RB2, but I mean, depending on the matchups and like going forward, while he's like the only guy there, then yeah, I do trust him as an RB2 for the time being.
If you have to start him as an RB2 in a pinch, but I wouldn't trust him as like an RB2 of your fantasy roster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, if he's your RB2, you're probably in trouble.
Pick up Booker if Jacobs goes down.
No, if Jacobs goes down, it's a committee.
Yeah. And if it's like a half or full PPR, I just prefer if it's half or full PPR, I just prefer Richard.
I don't know, man. They've been using Booker more in the Richard role.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Either way, the values there's not there. Stafford and Burrow are on one of the team. Thinks it's time to start Burrow. Stafford's.
Who do the Lions play this week?
The Lions.
Here, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh wait, no, they play the Cardinals. Yeah. Okay. I would start Stafford, not Burrow. Like
who the Bengals play this week?
Or is he saying Burrow plays the Ravens during Stafford's bye week? Is that what he's saying?
That's what I think he is saying. Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably be okay, like because he's gonna be down. He's gonna have to throw a lot, and he'll probably run a bit too.
Bengals play the Eagles next week for the record, so.
I might start Burrow there.
Yeah,
I mean, like the Cardinals' defense doesn't look that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Jared Goff toasted him. Manu, also sorry for you're good, Manu. We're messing with you. It's not lagging. Okay, good, Brooke. Appreciate that. 25, same thing.
You got that.
Yeah, you're good.
You should have that, I would say.
Easily Alfredo. I'm a Colts fan. Watched the whole game. Cousins looked lost and shook in the pocket. They absolutely need to get Cousins out of Minnesota. And yes, Rivers' arm is shot. He won't get benched because Reich loves him. Hopefully his arm is shot because I just picked up a JT share, oddly enough, in my keeper league. Run through this trade quickly for you guys. Let me see if I can get it.
I am so glad that the Bucs did not sign Phillip Rivers because that was like a big story for a while. Like I was like, please, God, no. Like I would much rather have Jameis Winston than Phillip Rivers.
Agreed. Let me see if I can find it. So if you guys can see the screen right now, I can't tell. So that's the side I got.
Schuster, DJ Chark, and Jonathan Taylor.
And then I had to trade CMC this year because it was my last year of holding him. But it was Corey Davis, CMC, Chris Herndon, and Josh Kelly. So
and that's a keeper league?
Yeah. It's you can keep 2 regular players and then one rookie. So JT I can keep for up to 3 years.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I gave it to him because he was tanking and he had Dobbins as one of his keepers for next year. So now his keepers for next year are already set. He's got Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and J.K. Dobbins as his keepers. And then mine, I got
dominate next year.
For me, I have to find like a third, like really keeper worthy player. But right now I have Taylor and Adams. And I could at this point I can keep either like A-Rob, Juju, or one of those guys, but I might try to package together and see if I can get like a better keeper option for my third keeper. So Yeah. JK says Keelan Cole or MBS with possibility of Adams being out. Apparently Adams is healthy according to the reports.
Yeah, apparently that was just like precautionary.
Yeah.
They were kind of they were pretty up in that game, so maybe that's why they held him out. And like, I mean, Aaron Jones just stole the show anyway, so
agreed. And I mean, I would prefer.
By the way,
Keelan
leads
Cole
the league in red zone targets. Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Manuel Sanders at 4 after one game though, so he could pass him tonight.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, that is true.
But at this point, yeah, I'd rather Keelan Cole because he has shown to get the volume. Now, I don't think that's going to last very long.
Keelan Cole's legit.
People actually doing that.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that great. Like, if you can get him for like $3 or something like that on the waiver, $5, I wouldn't care about that.
I wouldn't waste a dime on Keelan Cole.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Give me. First of all, Chark is not going to have 7 targets over.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that as well.
And give me Chenault over him too.
Easily. Yeah. Okay.
DS says Chris Conley's better than him too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, DS. There, I do think that Devontae Freeman could definitely get signed. We'll work through these last few and then go watch the game. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope Devontae signs soon. Yeah, Giants looks like a really likely spot there.
Yeah.
Hold Le'Veon Bell or Debo Samuel. So would you say would you drop Le'Veon for Debo? Because if that, I would prefer Debo straight up for Le'Veon.
Yeah, I would too.
So if that's what you're asking, if you want to hold Le'Veon or drop him for Debo, I would prefer Debo in that scenario. For the record, because even when Le'Veon comes back, what's his ceiling?
I would hold both guys if that's what your question is, because I don't think they really have a lot of value in a trade right now. So
yeah, agreed. What's realistic?
You can flip Le'Veon Bell for Antonio Gibson and absolutely steal him from someone, then I would do that because that's a complete name value cash in.
Man, I still don't get how people saw with Bell and Gurley this offseason. Like they were such big landmines.
I mean, to be fair, so was David Johnson, and he's not really looking like that. Fair.
I mean, he had one good week, so I kind of want to see how it goes for the rest of the season. Again, his bad week was against the Ravens, so I want to see if his good week was because he faced a bad run defense, or his bad week was because he played a good run defense. I want to see. It's probably somewhere in the middle of that.
Well, we're not going to get an answer this week because the Texans play the Steelers. And that might be the best.
Do not start David Johnson this week. If Saquon Barkley got 6 yards on 15 carries,
Melvin Gordon had a good game.
Yeah, David Johnson might have negative -6 yards.
Yeah, probably. All right,
and then both dropped them, and I'm wondering if I should.
I would pick Debo back up.
Debo back up, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to get out of here and go watch that game? All right. Easy, guys. Glad you enjoyed the screen. Quick 45-minute stream.
Hit the button that looks like this if you had a question answered or if you just enjoyed overall.
And hit that subscribe button. Daily content over here at FSE. Stay tuned for Thursday night. We're going to be heading live before the Thursday night football game, so you don't want to miss out on that. Anyways, Danny and Bush, we're signing off. Take care, y'all.
Peace out.